absolutely. So I'm Abdul. I'm the Alumni and Administration Supervisor for UK Addiction Treatment. So the alumni program is it's a program that supports a community of people who've completed and graduated treatment from any of our centres at UK Addiction Treatment. So we have 8 residential centres around the country, and people go in for various lengths of time. They obviously get help and support whilst they're in treatment, but after they've completed, we offer ongoing support and help. So it's a network and community of people who support each other, but we have a dedicated department of individuals who are there actively supporting people who've come out of treatment in a number of different ways. So the alumni program is almost, it's ongoing support, and it's an extension of the treatment that they receive whilst they stay with us. It's just available for them once they're back at home. Yeah, so there's a number of different ways. There's multiple ways that they actually engage with us as part of the alumni program. So, for example, once someone completes treatment and they've left, when they come up to complete or towards the end of their treatment stay with us, they'll sign an alumni form to say they're happy to be part of the alumni program. They'll leave their contact details and let us know how they'd like to be contacted. But once they leave, there's a number of different ways we support them. So we'll make outgoing contact calls with them once they've left. So we'll make regular contact over the phone for 4 days from the day they leave. So we'll literally touch base with them 4 days after they've gone home to see how they're getting on. We'll then schedule regular contact post-treatment from that 4-day call. So we'll contact them 2 weeks after, a month after, 2 months, 3, 4, 6. So we make these regular contacts with them to ensure that they're doing everything they need in order to stay healthy and stay, part or stay connected to their recovery program. So we make regular outbound contact with people to make sure that they know there's people they can speak to who can support them and help them once they're back at home. A lot of alumni deal with or have a number of different challenges once they've gone back home. Things like isolation, things like relationships with families, trying to navigate their recovery program and understand where they can get support and help when they're back at home. We're there to help and support them with all of those things. So we speak to them regularly over the phone, but we also encourage them to call us as well. So whilst they're in treatment, we'll speak to them and let them know that they can contact us in the alumni department. We're open 7 days a week. Bank holidays, Christmas Day, there's always someone available in the alumni department who they can call in and speak to. If they're having a rough day or they want to let us know what progress or achievements they've made in their recovery, they can call us and speak to somebody at the end of the phone. So it's important for them to know there's always someone there and available for them. We have event days throughout the year, which is a big part of the alumni program and a real big reason why people want to sign up. After they've left, we hold events throughout the year close to the centres all around the country where alumni members can come back and celebrate their recovery with other people they were in treatment with, see ex-staff members, but most importantly take part in workshops that's delivered by our guys from the centre who deliver topics that alumni members get to choose what the actual topic is, things in recovery and post-treatment support, and what that looks like. They get to choose a number of different topics that they'd like to hear about now they're back at home and trying to deal with their addiction. So those are a few of the main ways that alumni support, but we also have a regular podcast that we do with people who've completed treatment, as well as staff members from our centres. detailing their experiences and challenges about in recovery after they've left treatment. It's a free resource that we record bi-monthly and send out to everybody who's part of the mailing list. And we also send out newsletters as well, with different information on support and help that's available for our alumni, whether that's in a wider context of support that's available in their local areas, or whether it's support that they can find with UK addiction treatment. We want to keep them up to date with all of the available support that's on hand for them. If any of them have any issues back at home in navigating and trying to find local support, whether it's mental health support, local meetings, aftercare sessions with us, they can contact us for that information. So we're part of their overall recovery program. We're a point of contact, and we're there and available to listen. So that pretty much sums it up. So the main benefit and a real important part of the program, and it's pretty much summed up in a short phrase, that connection is the opposite of addiction. And so for a lot of people who come through treatment with us, they're dealing with a number of different life challenges, whether that be being alone, whether that be relationships, whether that be finance, whether that be mental health. Usually it's a mixture of a number of different things. The alumni program is going to give them a space, a community that they can connect to of like-minded individuals who understand, empathize, and go through all of the similar challenges that they are, somewhere they can stay connected and know that there's a safe space, free of judgment, that they can stay connected with in order to really push their recovery in the right direction. We understand that support and help and engagement with a recovery program doesn't just stop when they leave treatment. If anything, the real work starts once they've left the treatment centre. And so that's a really important facet of the treatment program for us, because a lot of the treatment is shaped by individuals in recovery, and they appreciate and understand the amount of work that's involved once you've left treatment. And so the alumni program is for them to stay connected with a community of people who've gone through a similar experiences and face the same challenges that they do. And so the benefit for them is being able to draw on that community when and if they need. Some people might not stay connected as much as others. The most important thing is that they're aware that this community is there and available for them, and we stay connected with the vast majority of people that sign up for it. And we have still we're still in contact with people who are years down the line from leaving treatment, who are still telling us how well they're doing and what they're achieving, and sharing back that information because they know how important it is to pass on that message. So it's there, it's available, and it's part of their treatment. So it's a huge benefit for the people who utilize it. The event days are a really good opportunity. So whenever we do hold an event close to one of our centres, groups of alumni who are in treatment together will usually come to those event days together, because they're in contact with each other either through WhatsApp or through regular contact. They'll all see each other usually for the first time on those event days that we hold throughout the year. So those event days are a real opportunity for people to catch up with individuals who they've been through treatment with. It's obviously a very scheduled timetable day of workshops, topics, and food and relaxation. They get a whole day to spend with everyone within that environment, within that setting. we also have different platforms where people can interact and chat to each other. So, for example, we have a private Facebook group for our alumni with thousands of individuals in there who've been through treatment, who interact with each other on a daily basis. So, the reason it's a private group is so we have people who can remain anonymous if they so wish, but they don't have to share it on their social media platforms as well. It's a private group where alumni interact with each other, again, share their successes, their challenges, put up their milestones, share materials and evidence of things that they found individually with the rest of the community in terms of recovery support. Sometimes it's films, sometimes it's songs, sometimes it's different meetings that they can access, whether it's 12-step or smart meetings, whatever way they can interact with each other and do it in a safe way that encourages support. We try and cultivate that. So we've got the Facebook group, we have an Instagram page, we have the newsletter where people can share any contributions. We have the podcast where people can put themselves forward if they want, or alumni can put themselves forward if they want to share their story. And so we encourage all of those different platforms for them to interact and communicate with one another. And so the vast majority of the community will do that in one of those areas. So I would say, in terms of leaving treatment and what provides some of the most beneficial or what can make for success, success is always measured by different people in different ways. It can be quite a flexible thing. However, the people who I found that have managed to put in place a solid recovery program, take control of their addiction, but also put in place healthy habits and routines, are people who will, from day one or from the day they leave treatment, engage with a very consistent recovery program. The most important thing is consistency. Sometimes people who leave treatment don't always want to engage. However, the people who do are far more likely to be in a healthy, happy place and maintain their recovery. So, for example, meetings, people will come out of treatment and do something called 90 and 90, where they'll commit to attending 90 meetings in 90 days straight out of treatment. And that initial period of time, say straight out of treatment, is so important because it's almost, because you go from the cocoon of being in the rehab center to then back home with all of the challenges that life can throw at you. And so having a recovery program in that time period is so crucial, because you do feel, or they do feel, vulnerable when you leave treatment, and you're a bit more open because you're back at home and dealing with all the challenges. And so being able to access consistently a recovery program, whether that's accessing 12-step meetings like NA or CA or AA, whether it's accessing smart meetings every day, whether it's accessing your local drug and alcohol key worker from your drug and alcohol team in your local authority or through your local council, getting a sponsor from the meetings and accessing online meetings which are available 24 hours. People who do those things consistently and regularly find that when they have a difficult time or have a challenging day, which inevitably happens after you leave treatment, they know there's a recovery program there for them that they can fall back on and rely on to catch them when they feel like they're falling. And so it's important for people it's important for alumni to remember that the most important thing is consistency and putting in place all of the tools and skills that they learn in treatment. Sometimes it might slip, and sometimes it's really consistent. The important thing is they know that they can always come back to it, and they've been exposed to those different support avenues. But the most successful alumni are ones who will actively go out and they will explore every different support avenue. Sometimes if some doesn't work, that's fine. The most important thing is that you've taken the risk of going and engaging with that support avenue to see whether it works for you or not, and doing it consistently. You find the things that work for you, and you apply yourself to it. And that's what's going to provide that solid foundation, because rehab is ultimately providing a solid foundation for the alumni to then build upon once they're out of treatment. So the program is there for people who want to utilize it. So it's just grown. It's grown over time. So we have thousands of alumni who are now registered, who are out of treatment, who have effectively, because we have so many feedback channels as part of the alumni program, so every time we contact somebody who's part of alumni, we provide them a feedback form that provides them a space for when they're back at home, provide them an avenue for feedback that they can provide us based on their experience whilst in treatment, based on how they would like the alumni program shaped, what they find useful, what they don't find useful. And so a lot of the time the program is shaped by the individuals who are part of the community, so the alumni themselves. If we see a trend where people would like to see more information and support around families and family dynamics once you leave treatment, we, for example, held open day in our London clinic where alumni were able to come with a +1, a family member who was part of their addiction and recovery journey. And so it's important for us to listen and to hear the feedback that our alumni provide, who then shape the program itself. So we try and more actively now provide as many different avenues for them to shape the content and the information and the support avenues that we provide. And so the program has developed a lot in that way, where we're finding that our alumni community is more and more actively contacting us to provide feedback and information compared to us just making outgoing contact with them. So we create and send out a lot more original content and support or evidence support pieces for alumni to engage with, depending on the topics that they want to hear. And so the community is just massively grown as more and more people come through treatment and complete successfully. And as that happens, we see a more diverse client base that provides different angles on how what addiction means for them. So whether it's a young woman, or whether it's a mother of 3 who went through treatment, whether it's an older gentleman that accessed help and support at a different stage of his life, whether it's somebody who's aged between 16 to 18 who's about to go to university but they're dealing with an addiction. There's a wide, diverse range of community members who are providing feedback on their experiences, and for us it's important to get an understanding of what that is, but also feed it back to the community so people understand that something like addiction doesn't discriminate. It hits across all different demographics in society, and the more people hear about that, the more easy it is for them to share back their their concerns, successes, and progress moving forward. So the UK addiction treatment model for their alumni program and aftercare is the most comprehensive, I believe, that you can find in the country. We have a dedicated department who are separate that provide solely support and help post-treatment, for individuals who've completed one of our treatment centres. We don't do anything other than providing help and support for individuals who have completed help, and a robust aftercare package is so important to ensuring that people stay in a recovery path once they've completed. So the aftercare, that's also part of their treatment, which is available for them up to a year with the team that they were in treatment with. That's really key, because having connection with people who understand what you went through, what your individual circumstances are, is really important, and that's who you'll get the aftercare with. But also having a community or an alumni program that's part of, not just something that's added on or is separate to your treatment program, it's part of your overall treatment pathway. And so I think it's unique in the way that it's part of your overall program from the day you come into treatment. It's already in place where you're going to receive an aftercare and alumni program that's there for you without any time limit as well. That's really important. So I said we engage with people who are 6-7 years further down the line. There isn't a time limit to the alumni program itself. We still communicate and stay in touch with people who are really far down the line, whose lives are completely different to the day they came into treatment. And we're still staying in touch with them, and we still consider them part of our community, because as long as people want to keep engaging and be part of the community, we're going to be happy to continue supporting them and making sure that they know that there's a community of people who are always going to be cheering them on no matter what stage of life they're in. And I think it's unique in that way. It's so closely linked to everything that they've done in treatment, and just because of the sheer size of the community itself, you're always going to be able to draw on support where you need. I would say being able to understand what a rehab's aftercare program and what their alumni program, if they have one, is like, will give you a really good understanding of exactly what that rehab considers important in terms of the treatment itself. Because like I said, the rehab treatment is just the foundation that people will get to set them on their pathway to recovery. The alumni program, the aftercare, and everything that comes afterwards will provide them that lifelong journey to a life free of substances or addiction or whatever people have come in for, or whatever an individual has come in for. And so it's vital to understand exactly what kind of treatment, what level of treatment, and how effective your treatment is going to be by looking at the treatment package you get after you've left. It also will, let them know that support and ongoing help is there and available for them. But speaking to anybody, sometimes word of mouth and being able to speak to somebody who's been through the program but also can communicate what support they've received afterwards, will really give people an understanding of just the level of and the quality of treatment. So the quality of treatment is reflected in what aftercare package and what support after they've left treatment, what that looks like or what that's shaped like. So I always encourage anybody who's looking for rehab or looking for treatment look into what the support you receive after you've left treatment and what they're offering and what shape that takes, because that will tell you exactly how important or how serious the rehab takes the treatment that they deliver. So look into those things. It's really key.